Welcome to Chianu
Chronicles.
Woo!
I know you guys missed us.
I know, we miss you guys
We
too.
Happy December. You see, we're outside sharing fall with all of
Yes,
you.
it's so beautiful out here, so we just wanted to be out
December
here.
will be your month to remember.
Yes, it's
Amen.
going to be a blessed month. And listen, we got on black and white today, guys. If you're talking about the life of black and white. Some of us live a definitive life, some of us doesn't. Some of us don't, and some of us are living in the gray. So we're going to talk about what is living life in the gray. So
Living life in the gray to me is where it says you have this concept of good is relative. It just depends on you. I mean, it's bad to you, but it's good to me. And you just live this life of like no boundaries. You just live in this life of you do whatever you want to do that makes you feel good. And guess what? That lifestyle leads you nowhere. Living in the gray, it doesn't allow you to meet your goals. It doesn't allow you to live a life of righteousness or of good character, because guess what? You have nothing to measure it to, because at the end of the day, I'm going to do what I want. I mean, what about the Bible? The Bible's written by man anyway. So you don't use anything to help you stay on the straight and narrow or even live a better life or live a better you at the end of the day. So
My question is, how can you become better? You know, we have a lot of goals and aspirations, but how do you get there when you start living 50 Shades of Gray? And I want to talk about
I like that.
living this
Not the
gray
book.
lifestyle. I think people make excuses for so many things where, you know, it's okay to go out and hang out with your friends. You may go to a party, you may have a drink, but then when that becomes every weekend and that becomes you coming home, you can't remember nothing. You had to take an Uber because you drank too much, or you coming home with a different dude every other week. Like 50 Shades of Gray sounds sexy in a book, but it's not great for your lifestyle. You know, there's a lot of people that's like, you know what, I just smoke to relax. It ain't a big thing, you know, but then that becomes a gateway to so many other things that now you're dependent on something that you were supposed to seek within yourself to find that peace, to find that relaxation, to find that stillness. But now you're needing these substances.
oh, it's that microwave type of work.
You don't want to put in the effort to live either a black life or a white life. That means if you're going to do good, do good. If you're going to do bad, just do it. But when you live in the center, there's no way you can progress, because, you know, there's no way you can progress because you have no
in
direction.
a gray hole.
You have
you have no direction, no boundaries.
I would also say, like, you know, what happened to your conscience? You know, a lot of people are living life without a conscience. It's like almost getting lost in the forest without a GPS system. Like, what happened?
What happened?
Like, you have nowhere to go. There's no path. And that's how life is. Life is so unpredictable. But what happened to that thing that told you, no, that ain't right, dude? Like, stop. Like, dude, like, don't do that another weekend. Like, don't mess with her, dude. Like, what happened to that voice? And so a lot of times, like, we don't have a conscience, and we do what we want to do because, you know, we want to do it and it feels good to us. But we got to realize that feeling good sometimes have consequences too. And so I just challenge you, if you don't have a conscience, some of you have one, some of you have been so, you know, fulfilling what you want, that voice has disappeared for you. And when that voice has disappeared for you, like, I plead with you, like, this is where you find God. This is where you, like, tag him in and say, listen, I don't know where I'm going. I have no confidence, no trajectory to where I'm going next. I need something bigger than myself to show me the right way to go.
They say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And so maybe you need to try a different direction. If you're used to just living this life of doing whatever you want to do, maybe it's time to do something different for a change. And we're not trying to be preachy. We just want to help you get to the next level. We want to help you. We want to see you succeed in those things that you haven't been able to because you live in a cycle that you're unwilling to change. So I think what we're trying to challenge you is, like, it's okay to be in the gray, but when it turns into 50 shades and it's a lifestyle, and you have no idea of what's good or bad anymore, I think that's what we're talking
And I
about.
want to say this, I forgot to mention in my piece, was your conscience is the thing that keeps you out of the gray. It's the thing that tells you, nope, this is where you need to be. And I always tell people, even in relationships, if you don't know where to stay or whether to leave, it's not staying or leaving that's bad. It's knowing what you need to do and not doing it that's bad. Whether staying or leaving. It's your conscience telling you, get out the gray, get into where you need to be.